my gosh. No way.
Mountain goats live in the harshest parts of the mountains, where the air is thin, the terrain is dangerous, and the weather is brutal. Yet, they thrive in this environment, their bodies honed to perfection to withstand the extreme conditions. With a coat of thick white fur that shields them from the biting cold, and a pair of curved horns that can deflect even the most ferocious of predators, these creatures are the epitome of resilience. But don't mistake their grace for gentleness. Life at this altitude is as brutal as the cliffs they climb. Predators stalk them, the elements batter them, and when mating season comes, battles between males can be so violent that blood stains the snow. Yet still, they endure. For mountain goats, life does not begin in comfort. There are no soft meadows or safe dens waiting for their young. Instead, their birthplace is the side of a cliff, jagged, exposed, and terrifyingly high above the ground. From the moment a kid enters the world, danger is everywhere. A single slip can mean a fall that ends before life has truly begun. But this brutal beginning is also a test, one written into the very survival of the species. Within minutes, newborns must rise on their spindly legs, balance on narrow ledges, and follow their mothers across slopes that would paralyze most other creatures with fear. Hesitation is not an option. Aerial predators like eagles circle overhead, waiting for the weak and the slow. On the ground below, wolves and cougars prowl for any misstep. The only safety lies upward, clinging to stone walls where no predator dares to climb. This unforgiving initiation shapes them from their first breaths. What looks like cruelty is in fact survival, an ancient strategy honed by countless generations. To live in the mountains, one must master them immediately. And mountain goats do. At first glance, mountain goats appear clumsy, sturdy bodies perched on thin legs with hooves that look far too small for the terrain they command. Yet those very hooves are masterpieces of natural engineering. Each is split into two sharp-edged toes, allowing them to grip the smallest cracks in the rock. Beneath lies a rough, rubbery pad that works like a climbing shoe, clinging to stone as if it were magnetized. This design allows them to stand on ledges barely wider than a coin and ascend slopes that would send most creatures sliding to their deaths. Their bodies, too, are crafted for survival at extreme heights. A dense, double-layered coat insulates them against blizzards that rage across peaks, while powerful muscles in their shoulders and hindquarters propel them upward in explosive leaps. They are not built for speed on open ground. Instead, every ounce of their strength is tuned for vertical escapes and impossible climbs. These traits make mountain goats masters of contradiction. They are heavy, yet they move with precision. They are vulnerable to predators, yet nearly untouchable in their chosen realm. Where physics suggests they should fall, they balance. Where logic says life cannot exist, they thrive. Life on the cliffs is not just about escaping predators, it is also about finding enough food to survive. The mountains are not generous hosts, meadows are rare, and most slopes offer little more than sparse patches of grass, hardy shrubs, and tufts of moss clinging to the rocks. Yet mountain goats make do, grazing wherever even the thinnest trace of greenery pushes through stone. How high can these goats climb? Well, let's put it into perspective. Imagine stacking 500 of you on top of each other, assuming you're 6 feet tall. That's how high these goats can go, and they do it without any safety nets or climbing gear. For a more relatable comparison, the average house is about 30 feet tall, and the Statue of Liberty stands at around 300 feet. Impressive, right? Now, get this. Mountain goats can climb up to 13,000 feet. That's way taller than the highest mountain in the entire United Kingdom, Ben Nevis, which stands at 4,413 feet. In fact, these goats could scale the equivalent of Ben Nevis 3 times over and still have some climbing energy left. These little goats aren't the only climbers in the harsh mountains. But if we're talking about the ultimate climber, one that can conquer the highest cliffs in the world, it has to be the mighty snow leopard. Meet the ghost of the mountain. While mountain goats risk their lives climbing for a tasty lick of salt, snow leopards have a slightly different motivation: dinner. And guess who's on the menu? That's right, the very same fearless goats. But spotting this elusive predator is no easy task. Snow leopards are so rare and well camouflaged that even the best wildlife filmmakers spend months or even years just to capture a few seconds of footage. Their ability to silently stalk prey across sheer cliffs, blending into the rocky landscape, has earned them their legendary nickname, the Ghost of the Mountain. So while mountain goats scale impossible heights to escape danger, the snow leopard follows, proving that in the wild, even gravity can't save you from a determined hunter. But here's the thing. Even if you were standing right next to a snow leopard, you might not even see it. That's how perfectly camouflaged this Ghost of the Mountains is. Here we have a goat who decided to climb up a steep wall with almost no ledges. It's a huge dam, and the goat is already very high up, and it's not climbing alone. A baby goat is climbing with it. But why do animals risk their lives like this? It's all about salt. The stones used to build the dam are rich in salt, and goats often pass by to refresh themselves with this mineral. It is essential for proper brain function and allows many processes to occur in the body. That's why you often find these salt-loving animals on the dam. Everything seems very scary, of course, but not for the goats. They even walk down the wall as if it weren't a wall. You can also find salt on the roads, which is even easier, and these snow goats have found a good spot, at least until spring. It's no wonder that these climbers know how to jump very well and can practically climb abysses up to 3.5 meters in length without any previous run-up. And all members of the herd repeat this trick, even the youngest goats. So it's a piece of cake to climb up a roof like this, or rather jump. They're not ashamed to pick fights with other goats in the mountains, and sometimes these battles can be deadly. Listen to that sound. These fights are very dangerous because one of the fighters can fall, although their agility knows no bounds. And after that, they can conquer the females. That's how alpine ibex do it, although it's not known to what extent sticking out their tongue helps. But apparently, it has its meaning, and it's very difficult to catch such fast animals, especially in their territory, even for a consummate mountain hunter. Ibex can also move each toe independently, adding precision to their spectacular balance and climbing abilities. They can make evasive maneuvers on small ledges, helping them escape predators like golden eagles and bears. All their mastery of cliffs and ledges, mountain goats are never truly safe. From birth until old age, danger follows them at every elevation. Above, eagles patrol the skies, their sharp eyes scanning for kids that stray too far from their mothers. A single dive from a golden eagle can mean a young goat lifted helplessly into the air, carried off to a fate as sudden as it is brutal. For the tiniest and weakest, the sky itself is a predator. On the slopes, cougars are the most relentless threat. Silent and patient, these predators can stalk for hours, blending perfectly with the grey stone until the moment they strike. Their powerful leaps might match the goats, but their endurance falters on vertical ground. One desperate scramble up sheer cliffs is often enough to leave the cat stranded below, glaring as its prey escapes. Wolves add yet another layer of danger. Unlike cougars, they hunt in coordinated packs, driving goats toward ambush points. But here, the wolves face a problem. Cliffs are not their domain. Time and again, mountain goats retreat higher, bounding into terrain where no paw can follow. From below, wolves can only watch, frustrated as the goats vanish into the stone. The snow leopard is known to be very cautious and flees quickly, making it very difficult to catch such a large prey. Though leopards are not inferior to goats in agility, they sometimes get their trophy. Much less fortunate are bears, who are ultimately at a disadvantage. Bears are not as fast, and snow goats can easily escape them even with their young, although bears are individually very fast, especially in such rough terrain. The brown bear's only chance of catching the nimble snow goats is to chase them down. Even then, the goat's hooves allow them to go further than their pursuer, and the bear can't get close to them. However, the situation with eagles is not as straightforward. Their unexpected attacks often catch the herd off guard, especially the young ones. An eagle can even snatch and fly away with a young goat. But if the prey is larger, as in the case of this bighorn sheep, the trick won't work. Grasping its prey, the golden eagle runs down the slope and tries to take off. The raptor falls but doesn't release its claws. The sheep struggle to get away from the eagle, and they both tumble downhill. Finally, only at the bottom of the mountain, the eagle lets go of the bighorn sheep. And this is a very dangerous tactic. Eagles are very skillful and try to throw their heavy prey off the cliff, and sometimes they succeed. However, the hunting of predators has little effect on the population of mountain goats. Like human activities, these places are difficult to access, and until now, people have only rarely reached them. Even goats learn from a young age not to let humans in. However, even they are powerless against nature. Avalanches claim more lives of mountain goats than all predators combined. For example, these ibexes were trapped in an avalanche that covered half of the herd. The rest managed to escape their imminent death. But look, the avalanche has stopped, and the goats covered in white snow have emerged. This time, they were very lucky. And this is what goats do when they don't have mountains. Make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. The alpine ibex. These are not just any common goats. They are the elite athletes of the animal kingdom. I know what you're thinking. Aren't all mountain goats the same? Well, not quite. These wild climbers laugh in the face of danger, effortlessly scaling high cliffs as if they were strolling on a sidewalk. They live where the air is thin and the views are so breathtaking, you'd swear they were worth dying for. What's interesting is that male and female alpine ibex live separately. Females prefer the higher mountain regions and love climbing, while males are more flexible. In spring, they move to the lowlands where food is abundant, then head to alpine meadows in the summer to feast on fresh grass. When winter arrives, they migrate to the sunnier sides of the mountains, skillfully seeking out the warmest spots with the least snow. Their intelligence helps them survive in one of the toughest environments on Earth. The mountain goat lives at high altitudes of over 3,000 to 4,000 meters above sea level. In many cases, it is a tough region where only rocks and hardly any vegetation are visible underfoot. But there aren't many predators that dare to approach places like this. To live and thrive in places like these, desire alone is not enough. Serious physical training is also required. Though mountain goats weigh up to 100 kilograms, they are true masters of climbing. Their bodies are slightly flattened on the sides, which means they are more agile when squeezing against rocks. Additionally, goats have well-developed pectoral muscles that perfectly control their legs, which move easily not only forward but also upward. But the most interesting thing is their hooves. They are bifurcated and can open wide, gripping rocks like a vice. Hooves have concave sets of foot pads that act as suction cups when they walk in their steep environment. The central part of each hoof has a special pad that adheres firmly to ridges, allowing them to cling to them, while the sides of the hooves, on the contrary, are made of hard and resistant fiber. Goats are capable of maintaining contact even with the smallest bump on the rock, which is why it may seem that the goat is literally clinging to nothing. For a goat, walking on a 10 to 20 centimeter ledge is like walking on a sidewalk for a human. If a goat jumps to a ledge and feels that it cannot hold on, it jumps farther and farther until it can hold on. This may seem dangerous, but it has everything under control. They can even descend almost vertical cliffs and feel completely comfortable. Take this markhor, for example. One moment, it was enjoying a peaceful meal, completely unaware of its surroundings. The next, boom, the ghost struck, and just like that, dinner was served. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a markhor? Well, it's another species of mountain goat, just with fancier, spiral-shaped horns and an equally dangerous life. Turns out, being a mountain goat isn't just about defying gravity. it's also about avoiding becoming someone's lunch. What else is a crucial part of life? Finding a mate. And in the animal kingdom, this might just be the most challenging mission of all. One such example is when snow goats engage in playful behavior, which can include running and jumping around on steep and rocky terrain. It may seem reckless, but this is actually a way for the goats to practice their skills and test their limits in a safe environment. Snow goats are also known for their social behavior. They live in herds of up to 20 individuals. They have a specialized digestive system that allows them to break down tough and fibrous plant material. This makes them well adapted to survive in their high altitude and harsh environment. Despite their impressive abilities, snow goats are facing threats to their survival. Climate change is causing the disappearance of their alpine habitats, and they're also being hunted for their meat, fur, and horns. Conservation efforts are underway to protect these unique and fascinating animals and ensure their continued existence in the wild. Mountain lions, also referred to as cougars or pumas, are known to hunt snow goats as they are one of the natural predators of these animals. Snow goats are an important food source for mountain lions, especially during the winter months when other prey may be scarce. Mountain lions are skilled hunters and are able to take down prey much larger than themselves, including adult snow goats. However, snow goats' excellent climbing ability to blend in with their snowy environment, and thick skin have helped them avoid predation. This Rocky Mountain goat battles the fierce bite of winter. She climbs higher to an isolated outcrop where, alone and safe from predators, she will give birth to her baby. Born at the top of the world, this few weeks old and his first footsteps are on the edge of a staggering cliff. His flexible and sensitive hooves will allow him to get a perfect toehold on even the tiniest ledge. But first, his mother will teach him how to use them. The kid faces many obstacles in his journey down to the valley to find food, but he faces his fears, and with unexpected strength he proves he has what it takes to survive. As autumn wraps up and the first snowflakes hit the ground, the mating season for mountain goats and their fancier cousins, the markhor, kicks off. December marks the start of the rut, and for the males, it's do or die, literally. The massive markhor males come down from their high-altitude retreats, not for a cozy winter break, but to prove they're the best bachelors around. But unlike humans, they can't just swipe right. They've got to battle it out. Every male tries to impress the ladies, but before they can even dream of getting a date, they have to fight off the competition. And we're not talking about a little shoving match. This is a full-blown, head-smashing, bone-rattling showdown. Weighing over 100 kilos, these beasts charge at each other with enough force to make a wrecking ball jealous. Unlike bar fights that last a few minutes, markhor battles can drag on for days, because, apparently, nothing says romance like repeatedly slamming your skull into another guy's. But the drama doesn't end there. The females, watching from the sidelines like judges on a reality show, aren't just looking for the biggest muscles. Nope, they're assessing stamina, technique, and sheer stubbornness. Meanwhile, the battling males are too busy trying not to fall off a cliff to worry about their performance reviews. Their chest hair carries a unique scent, which helps spread their signature cologne, a mix of sweat, dirt, and desperation. With every clash of their twisted horns, their anger flares, and their determination to not be single for another year grows stronger. The goal? Knock the other guy off balance. And in these rocky landscapes, a bad step could mean game over. But for the victor, the prize is worth it. The female finally makes her choice. Congratulations, you get to be a dad. Meanwhile, the loser stumbles away, probably with a pounding headache and zero sympathy. Winning a fight is just the beginning for a markhor. Once he earns his spot at the top, he must guard his prize, because in the wild, nothing is truly won until the season is over. Other males are always lurking, ready to challenge the champion, and a single moment of weakness could mean losing both his title and his hard-earned mate. But even outside of mating season, life as a markhor is anything but easy. Living in the steep, rugged mountains of Central and South Asia, they've evolved into some of the most impressive climbers in the animal kingdom. Their specialized hooves act like built-in climbing gear, allowing them to scale near vertical rock faces with the grace of a seasoned mountaineer and the confidence of someone who's never slipped on ice. And yet, while they navigate death-defying cliffs like pros, their biggest challenge isn't gravity, it's survival. These magnificent animals are constantly on the lookout for predators, including the elusive snow leopard, who sees them not as majestic creatures, but as a four-legged buffet. To escape, markhor rely on their insane agility, sharp senses, and sheer luck, because when a snow leopard pounces, you either react in a split second or become dinner. High in the mountains, survival isn't just about predators. The environment itself is an unrelenting adversary, a test that never ends. Freezing winds sweep across the cliffs like blades, snow piles into suffocating drifts, and oxygen grows thin at dizzying altitudes. For most creatures, these heights are uninhabitable. For mountain goats, they are simply home. Their armor against the cold is their coat, a thick, layered masterpiece. In winter, it transforms into a dense shield of insulation, trapping heat even as temperatures plunge below what most mammals could endure. Every strand of fur works like a soldier in formation, locking together to keep life intact against the storm. When spring returns, they shed it in great sheets, as if discarding winter's weight before the next climb. But warmth is not enough. In the thin air of high altitudes, each breath is a victory. Their lungs and blood are built to draw every possible drop of oxygen from the sky. Where a human might stagger, dizzy and weak, the goat climbs with steady rhythm, unfazed by the elevation. Their hearts beat with the calm efficiency of creatures sculpted by the heights. Even avalanches, the mountain's most violent outbursts, are a constant threat. Snow breaks free, roaring down slopes like thunder made solid. Yet somehow these climbers navigate through the chaos, hugging cliffs, darting across rock faces, and finding safety where there should be none. To live here is to wrestle daily with the elements themselves. And the mountain goats, they do not just endure, they thrive, wearing hardship like a crown. Life on the cliffs doesn't come with buffets. Food is scarce, scattered, and often hidden in cracks where only the most determined can reach. Yet mountain goats have carved out a menu from what seems like nothing, transforming barren landscapes into survival banquets. They are strict herbivores, but calling them picky eaters would be a lie. Grasses, shrubs, mosses, ferns, and lichens all find their way into a goat's mouth. In spring and summer, when plants are more plentiful, they graze widely, filling their bellies to prepare for leaner seasons. But in the biting chill of winter, when green life is buried under snow, they scrape at icy ground, nibble dried twigs, and forage for anything with the faintest hint of nutrition. A goat's meal might not look impressive, but every mouthful is a triumph. In a place where even breathing feels like work, their ability to survive on scraps is as impressive as their climbing feats. A mountain goat's life begins in a place that seems impossible for birth, the side of a cliff. No grassy fields, no sheltered dens, just a jagged ledge where one wrong step means a fall into nothingness. Here, mothers give birth in spring, after 6 months of carrying new life through snowstorms and icy winds. The kid arrives wide-eyed into a world of stone and air. Within minutes, it must do the unthinkable. Stand up. Failure is not an option. Eagles circle above, wolves and cougars lurk below, and the only safety lies in keeping up with its mother. The newborn trembles, stumbles and slips, but instincts drive it onward. By the end of its first day, it can already climb. This brutal introduction to life sets the tone for everything that follows. Childhood for a mountain goat is no playground, it's a survival course. Kids practice bounding across ledges barely wider than their hooves, each misstep a lesson carved in fear and determination. Playful headbutts with siblings are not just games, but training for the battles adulthood will demand. Adolescence brings strength and rivalry. As their horns grow, young males are compelled to prove themselves. Fights begin as tests of dominance, escalating into violent clashes where heads collide with bone-shattering force. Victories earn status, defeats bring humility. For females, the challenge lies not in combat, but in navigating the cliffs while carrying the next generation inside them, repeating the cycle of life on the edge. Adulthood is a mixture of triumph and hardship. The goats that reach this stage are seasoned climbers, survivors of predators, storms, and avalanches. They join herds, establish hierarchies, and face the relentless challenges of the mountains with steady confidence. But the clock is always ticking. On average, mountain goats live just over a decade in the wild. Old age comes with stiff joints, dulled reflexes, and the ever-present risk of one miscalculated leap. Some fall to predators, others to gravity, and many to the slow erosion of time. Yet each life, no matter how brief, is a story of resilience written into the cliffs themselves. From the trembling first steps of a kid to the final climb of a grizzled veteran, the mountain goat's life is a saga of survival, courage, and an unyielding bond with the heights. Though the cliffs may look lonely, mountain goats are not solitary rulers of the rocks. Their lives are interwoven with others, bound by a loose but vital social order that ensures survival in a world where every step is a risk. Herds are small, rarely more than a dozen, but within those groups lies a delicate balance. Females, nannies, tend to gather together with their kids, forming a kind of protective nursery high on the ledges. Here, survival is a shared task. Mothers guard not only their own young, but the herd as a whole. The kids learn from watching each other, mimicking bold jumps, cautious climbs, and the subtle art of staying invisible to predators. Males, meanwhile, often lead lonelier lives. Outside of the breeding season, they drift apart, wandering across the cliffs like ghostly sentinels. Solitary but watchful, they conserve their energy for the season when dominance matters most. Communication in such a dangerous habitat cannot be loud or wasteful. Instead, it is a language of looks and postures. A lowered head warns of a fight. A sideways glance signals irritation. A sudden stillness spreads alertness through the group, like a ripple across water. When danger truly approaches, the herd moves as one, each individual trusting the instinct and agility of the other, scaling impossible rock faces to vanish from view. There is hierarchy, though it is not as rigid as in wolves or primates. Strength and age command respect, but survival depends less on dominance and more on awareness. A wise female, knowing the safest path across a slope, may hold more influence than the fiercest horned male. In this high-stakes environment, knowledge often outweighs power. Yet, when males rejoin the herds during mating season, order dissolves into chaos. Fights erupt, violent, dramatic collisions of horn against horn, echoing like thunder through the mountains. These battles can last for hours, each strike a test of endurance. The victor claims not only the right to breed, but the admiration of the herd. Still, even amid the clashing and posturing, there is a sense of continuity. The herd endures, season after season, generation after generation. Their society is not built on dominance alone, but on survival, an unspoken pact between individuals who share the same perilous stage, where cliffs are both walls and roads, and where unity, however fragile, can mean the difference between life and death. As autumn bleeds into winter and the high peaks are lashed by bitter winds, the quiet rhythm of mountain life fractures. It is mating season, the time when males who have spent most of the year wandering in solitude return to the herds. With their arrival comes chaos. The air is thick with tension. Every glance between males carries the weight of challenge. Every movement hints at the storm to come. Their horns, sharp and curved, are no longer just tools of defense. They become weapons in a primal contest for survival of the bloodline. Rival males size each other up with rigid postures, sideways struts, and piercing stares. Sometimes the contest is resolved before it begins, one male bowing his head, conceding to the larger or more confident opponent. But when neither yields, the mountains themselves seem to hold their breath. Two billies lower their heads, silence hangs. Then, with an explosion of force, skull crashes against skull, echoing like thunder through the valleys. Again they clash, sending showers of frost and stone skittering across the cliffs. Each strike is a gamble. Too much force and a horn may break. Too little and dominance slips away. These battles can last minutes or hours, each contestant battered but unwilling to surrender. Eventually, one falters, breath ragged, legs trembling. The victor raises his head, horns gleaming with ice, and claims his right. His triumph is more than physical dominance. It is proof that he is strong enough, resilient enough to pass on his lineage in a world that demands perfection. For the females, the choice is instinctive. They seek not just strength, but endurance, the traits that will best ensure their young survive the cliffs, the predators, and the endless winters. Courtship here is not tender. It is a storm of power, a ritual written into the bones of the mountains themselves. When the clashes subside and the air grows still, the winners mate, and the cycle of life in the heights begins anew. The defeated slink away, nursing wounds, waiting for another year, another chance. In the silence after the storm, the mountains stand witness to a ritual older than time, the relentless drive to endure, to conquer, to survive. When the storms of mating season fade, the mountains are swallowed once more by silence. Snow deepens, temperatures plunge, and the survivors of the battles now face their harshest test. Winter. Food dwindles, the air grows thin, and every step demands energy that cannot be spared. Yet the goats endure, pressing on against the wind, living where few creatures could even breathe. And then, as if the mountains themselves reward their perseverance, spring arrives. From the melting snow and thawing cliffs comes new life. Tiny kids take their first trembling steps on ledges that would terrify any other creature. With mothers guiding and guarding them, they learn quickly, because hesitation in the heights is fatal. Within days, the newborns leap and climb with a confidence that seems impossible, as though the laws of gravity never applied to them at all. It is here in these fragile beginnings that the story of the mountain goat comes full circle. Every cliffside battle, every desperate winter climb, every daring leap was for this moment, to ensure that life continues, balanced precariously on the edge of the world. And so the cycle turns again. Kids growing into wanderers, wanderers into challengers, challengers into rulers of the heights. Against the odds, they thrive, leaving behind only the echoes of their hooves and the quiet defiance of a creature that lives not just on the mountains, but with them. This tree is called the argan, or thorny tree, and as you can see, it is covered in thorns. But Moroccan goats are not afraid of it at all. It's their favorite snack, a fleshy fruit similar to a plum. Shepherds don't scare them away. On the contrary, they remove the thorns so that the goats can reach as high as possible. They collect the seeds of the tree's fruit that have been processed in the goat's stomach. It's better than climbing the tree to pick the fruit oneself and remove the seeds. Then, the seeds are destined for further processing, where very expensive argan oil is obtained, considered medicinal and used in cosmetics. Who would have thought that these animals were so adapted to the difficulties of life? Let's have a look at some species of goats that live high in the mountains, which you might never have heard of. Stone sheep. In the rugged mountains of British Columbia, the stone sheep thrive despite extreme temperatures ranging from -40 degrees Celsius in winter to 30 degrees Celsius in summer. These resilient animals have evolved remarkable strategies to survive such harsh conditions. In the fall, they grow thick, white winter coats providing essential insulation against the cold. Their ability to slow down their metabolism and reduce energy expenditure helps them conserve energy during periods of scarce food. As summer arrives, they shed their winter coats for lighter, darker ones to regulate their body temperature. Despite these adaptations, stone sheep face a significant threat: illegal hunting. Poachers, driven by the lucrative market for their horns and meat, increasingly target these animals, often using advanced technology to track and kill them. This illegal hunting undermines conservation efforts and disrupts the delicate balance of the alpine ecosystem, where stone sheep play a vital role as a keystone species. Dhole sheep. They look similar to stone sheep, but a different subspecies of wild sheep. Dhole sheep reign supreme in the majestic mountainous regions of North America. These agile creatures have evolved to thrive in the harsh, rugged terrain of the Rocky Mountains, where steep cliffs and rocky outcroppings provide them with a natural refuge. They live in small herds, typically led by a dominant ewe, and are well adapted to the extreme weather conditions of their alpine habitat. Their remarkable agility and sure-footedness allow them to navigate treacherous mountain terrain with ease, scaling steep slopes and traversing narrow ledges with a grace that belies their size. In the summer, they roam the alpine meadows, feasting on a diet of grasses, sedges, and wildflowers. In the winter, they retreat to lower elevations where they rely on their thick coats and stored fat reserves to survive the harsh conditions. Dwarf blue sheep. Blue sheeps are not actually blue or a sheep. They are more closely related to goats than sheep, despite their physical resemblance to sheep. These slate grey to pale brown animals inhabit upland slopes in China, from Inner Mongolia to the Himalayas. They are sexually dimorphic, with males larger than females, and have distinct physical characteristics, such as backward sweeping horns and a flat, broad tail. Blue sheep live in groups, preferring treeless slopes, alpine meadows, and shrub zones above the timberline. They are affected by hunting, particularly by foreigners, which has impacted their population. Despite this, they are still widespread and abundant in some areas. Mishmi takin. The takin is a unique and fascinating species of goat antelope native to the Himalayan region. It is the national animal of Bhutan and is considered a sacred creature in Buddhist mythology. Takins are characterized by their distinctive appearance with a stocky build, short legs, and a large, bulky body covered in a thick, shaggy coat that ranges in color from dark brown to golden brown. One of the most striking features of the takin is its unusual head, which resembles a cross between a goat and an antelope. They have a long, curved horn that grows upwards and outwards from their forehead, and a distinctive set of eyes that seem to be looking upwards, giving them a perpetually alert and watchful appearance. Takin are herbivores and feed on a variety of plants, including grasses, leaves, and bamboo. They are found in high-altitude forests and grasslands, typically between 1,000 and 4,000 meters above sea level. They are social animals and are often found in small herds, led by a dominant female. Despite their impressive size and strength, takins are agile and nimble, able to climb steep mountain slopes with ease. They are also known for their unique ability to eat plants that are toxic to other animals, making them well adapted to their high-altitude habitat. Himalayan goral. The Himalayan goral is a remarkable species that inhabits the mountainous regions of the Himalayas. These agile creatures are well adapted to their rugged environment, with a grey or grey-brown coat that helps them blend in with their surroundings. They are found in small bands of 4 to 12 individuals, although older males may be solitary. Himalayan gorals are crepuscular, meaning they are most active during the early morning and late evening. After a morning meal, they often drink and then rest on a rock ledge through the day. Their diet consists of leaves, grasses, herbs, roots, shoots, and twigs, which they feed on throughout the day. Himalayan gorals are very agile and can run quickly, making them well suited to their mountainous habitat. Their ability to climb is impressive, allowing them to navigate the steep and rocky terrain with ease. The breeding season takes place between November and December, and after a gestation period of 170–218 days, females give birth to a single kid. The young are weaned at 7 or 8 months of age and become reproductively mature when they are around 3 years old. Himalayan gorals are very protective of their young and will vocalize with hissing or sneezing sounds when sensing danger. Their mountainous habitat provides them with a unique set of challenges, but also offers them protection from predators. Himalayan gorals are well camouflaged, making them extremely difficult to spot, especially since they spend much of the day lying still. Himalayan tar. They are members of the wild goat family and are known for their striking appearance and impressive adaptations to their rugged environment. Himalayan tars are medium-sized ungulates with a distinctive appearance. They have a thick reddish-brown to dark brown coat that helps them blend in with their surroundings. The coat is longest on their back, forming a distinctive saddle shape, and is shorter on their belly. They have a white V shape on their forehead, white markings on their face, and a white rump patch. It is listed as near threatened on the IUCN Red List, as the population is declining due to hunting and habitat loss. Spend most of their time grazing on grasses and browsing on leaves and fruits. Their diet consists mainly of natural grasses, and they have a significant impact on the vegetation in their habitat. The Himalayan taar's powerful legs and muscles enable them to propel themselves up steep inclines with remarkable ease. Their legs are long and sturdy, with well-developed muscles that allow them to push themselves upward and support their body weight on narrow ledges. Markhor. The markhor is a majestic and endangered species of wild goat native to the mountainous regions of Central Asia. Also known as the screw horn due to its distinctive spiral horns, the markhor is the national animal of Pakistan and is revered for its impressive size, agility, and striking appearance, reaching lengths of up to 2 meters and weighing up to 110 kilos. The markhor is one of the largest wild goats in the world. One of the markhor's most impressive abilities is its exceptional climbing prowess. With a sure-footedness that belies its size, the markhor can scale vertical cliffs and traverse narrow ledges with ease, often reaching heights of over 3,000 meters. Its flexible joints and specially adapted hooves, which have a unique, rubber-like texture, allow it to grip even the smallest handholds and footholds. This remarkable agility enables the markhor to escape predators, find food, and even engage in playful behavior such as king of the mountain displays, where males will climb to the highest point and proclaim their dominance. Red sheep. The red sheep, also known as the Ladakh urial, is a species of wild sheep endemic to Ladakh. It is considered to be the smallest of all the wild sheep. Its horns are back-curved, wrinkled, and slender. The red sheep is well adapted to its mountainous habitat, with powerful legs and sharp hooves that enable it to climb steep terrain with ease. Its agility and climbing abilities allow it to navigate the rugged landscape of Ladakh, where it can be found in the Hemis National Park and other areas. Unfortunately, the red sheep is listed as endangered on the IUCN Red List due to habitat loss, poaching, and competition with domestic livestock. The construction of roads and infrastructure in the region has led to habitat fragmentation, making it difficult for the urials to move freely and find food. Conservation efforts are underway to protect the Ladakh urial and its habitat, including the establishment of protected areas and community-based conservation initiatives. So after all this, we can conclude that they are not immortal after all. That is it for today, and would you like to see more videos like this? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.